so hard. Now everything is easy 'cause of you.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Realtors Keeping It Real. Just so everyone knows, I looked up this stat today. There are 20,000 licensed realtors in Nevada, and then there are over 3,000 licensed property managers in Nevada. But today, we're talking to one of my favorites, and that's Alisa.
Hi.
Alisa works with us at McKenna, and she is a licensed realtor, and she is also a property manager, and she's been with us for
3 years.
3 years now. So she works with me in the leasing department. She hasn't always worked there, though. So give us a little bit of a timeline of what you've done since you've been at McKenna.
Yeah, so when I first started here, I was director of first impressions. And then when a position opened up to kind of change and go a little bit more towards leasing, I definitely jumped at that. And I ended up being special projects assistant, which is assistant to Ireland. And I just kind of helped out with a little bit of repairs and a little bit of leasing. And then now I'm the leasing coordinator. So now I just really focus on leasing.
So when you first got here, were you ever thinking that you were going to fully dive into real estate and getting licensed and doing applications? Or because she came from a paper company?
Right. I used to work at a newspaper. So it wasn't anything that I ever thought that I would eventually do. I never thought that I would be a realtor or a property manager. I was always interested in becoming an investor, being one of a property manager's clients. So when the position opened up here, it was just a good fit. And yeah.
Do you feel like since you've started working here that you've gotten the nitty-gritty inside scoop of what it looks like to be an investor and property manager? Do you feel like you've learned a bunch and
Yeah, definitely. I've learned a lot. And then there's still so much to learn, but it's definitely an experience every day here.
Yeah. I know that Max, every other week, will go to Alisa and be like, "Are you ready to buy a house yet? Are you ready to buy a house yet?"
It's in the works. It's in the works.
Because I love her story of how she came to Nevada. Because you originally were in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have property in Florida as well, or were you renting in Florida?
I did not. So I was a renter in Florida. My husband, he moved from Australia, and he was a homeowner in Australia. And then when he moved to Florida, we decided to kind of take it on the road, just sell everything. And our goal was to end up in California, but we stopped in Vegas and we loved it here. So we stopped here and purchased a home, and yeah, the rest is history.
Now that you've purchased your first home in Nevada, are you wanting to purchase a second home in a different area and rent out the first one? Or do you
Yes.
kind of where you're living and
That's definitely the plan. So there was a 5-year goal set when I first started working here. So it's definitely still in the works. Right now I own a home in kind of North Las Vegas, and I'm looking in Henderson right now for a second home.
Just an easier drive to work every single day.
Definitely, because the drive is intense with traffic, Vegas traffic.
So what would you say is your favorite thing that you do day to day, or even once a week? What's your favorite part about the job?
My favorite part would probably be approving the applicants who've been searching for a home for a while, and just kind of sharing in that little moment of celebration and easing their minds, and just approving them and getting them into their new home.
I remember I took a call. I think maybe you were in the room on speaker. I can't remember if you know this or not, but I remember I took a call where I was giving somebody an approval, and she was actually visiting her mother's grave at the time. So she got the call right after she was done visiting with her mother. Mm-hmm. And then when she got the approval, she just started breaking down crying. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, this is such a sign." And I think she's still in one of our properties. So yeah, I've had some of those moments where it's
it's really nice.
It just feels really good.
Yeah.
Before you were doing leasing, you were actually doing kind of more like repair stuff and like home warranties and things of that nature. We actually just had a podcast where Jenni and I talked the absolute trash on home warranty and talking about how little we don't like it. So you were doing home warranty stuff for about a year, maybe?
About, yeah.
Would you agree with Jenni and I if you were to say your thoughts on home warranty?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And as a homeowner myself, they're the worst. They're essentially a scam. They will try anything and everything under their power to deny your claim. So it's just really not worth it in the long run when you can find a trusted vendor to do the same job quicker and likely cheaper. So
you've tried, do you currently still have the home warranty or did you let it expire on your
I
personal
actually had an issue with my roof and they denied it. They kept denying the claim. So, I ended up using one of our vendors from McKenna and got rid of the home warranty because it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, just not into it. Do you ever wish that you were more involved in like sales or like with what Emily and Max do in the McKenna team? Or do you feel like you dig like property management?
Definitely not sales. I don't think I'm cut out for that. I like the day-to-day of the leasing part, the like creating lease agreements and processing applications and all of that. But I think my interest was originally more just being a client. So being a homeowner and renting out my own properties, not so much selling them or buying, helping other people buy them, which is intimidating to me.
Yeah. So she's a super big rock star and she's taken both the real estate exam and the property management permit exam. So that's why she's licensed in both. What would you say was harder? Would you say that you struggled more with the real estate exam or with the property management exam?
Well, I mean, based on results, definitely the property management exam. I passed the real estate exam the first try, but the property management, it took me 2 tries. So I did fail the first one and then went back the same week and ended up passing it. So
she wasn't telling anyone that she was taking the test. So she just kept asking for time off for appointments. And then I was like, okay, have fun at the dentist or wherever you're going. But she was actually going to take her property management test. And then when she came back with her past form, nobody knew that she was even doing it. So she likes to be stealthy like that.
Yeah.
When you first joined in with being the director of first impressions and kind of being at the front desk, did you ever think that in 3 years' time you'd be holding 2 licenses and be working in like the applications department?
I mean, I guess I never thought of that when I was first starting working here. But it was always a wish, a dream. So, I mean, it worked out. You set a goal and you get to accomplish it here.
Nice. What do you think is like your biggest lesson learned or biggest piece of advice that you would give to like someone who wants to become an investor? Maybe something they don't know or maybe something you learned that was behind the scenes that you hadn't even thought of.
Oh, wow. I'm not even sure. There's so much that you need to know regarding like tenants and what's like legal and what you can
just all the NRS laws and all the
what you can and can't do and your time limits. Like sometimes you only have legally 48 hours to get something fixed for them or I'm not sure.
Yeah. I think the 48 hours we talk about a lot on the podcast, especially because we were just talking about home warranties and we were talking about how they don't honor those 48 hours at all. I think something that I kind of learned is that there's also a law that kind of stipulates that you are supposed to make a really concentrated effort to fix uninhabitable items within 14 days. And I always thought that it was like, okay, well, if it's a habitable item, you got to act fast. You got to do everything. And then if it's a non-habitable item, you can kind of take a little bit more time, maybe get more estimates. And something that I learned was like, no, you actually do have to show that you're making a concentrated effort to even address the uninhabitable items, which is very it's something that I felt like I learned as like when I was studying for my tests, is I was like, oh, I didn't realize that. But I asked you what your favorite thing about the job was. Would you be willing to share your least favorite thing? Can it be shared, or does it have to stay a secret?
No, not at all. So I mean, every job has its challenges for sure, but I think one of the most like consistent annoying things that happens is when an applicant applies and their application is incomplete. So it's creating delays that could be avoided. I promise that there's not a question on the application that we don't want to know the answer to. So definitely just answer all the questions, upload all the files, even more than you think you need to. So incomplete applications definitely causing delays in my position.
Yeah. We talked about that a little bit before. We gave tips and tricks and secrets to success when it came to people wanting to apply to properties. And one of the first things we said is fill everything out. Don't leave anything blank. Give more information than you think you have to, because over-explain, we do not mind. I know that you had said earlier that you mentioned when you come to McKenna and you set a goal, it gets accomplished. Yeah. So we've also talked on here before about how we love doing goals, and it's kind of part of the company culture, and it's kind of part of doing all of that. So has there been a moment or a time at McKenna where you set a goal and then you were able to accomplish it through either something that we were doing in office or through like an in-office accountability buddy?
Yeah, I mean, we have those like monthly goals right now that we're all working as like a team to accomplish. I think this month is the no spend September month. Yeah. So I've been doing pretty well at that. So I've been bringing my lunch every day.
I've not. I've been completely horrible at no spend September. So I'm proud of you for accomplishing that.
Just like little things like that, or even like the real estate license or PM license. So those were goals, and with the help of all of my teammates here, like definitely would not have been able to do it without them. So
nice. That's awesome. And yeah, you're coming up on almost 2 years being licensed, or have you passed your 2 years already?
No, almost 2 years on real estate and almost 1 year on PM.
That's awesome. Yep. That's super cool. When I was looking up the numbers for the stats on how many people were licensed, I actually found my name on the list, and I was like, gave myself a little pat on the back. But I love that. I think that it's really cool that you've accomplished not only 2 licenses, but you're accomplishing the monthly goals. I know right now you're part of a book club for super fans, which is a book that we've talked about on here before, one that Jenni really loves. How's that going with reading super fans? Are you feeling like you're getting a lot out of it? Are you excited for your book club meeting? Oh no. What was that pause for?
It's a good book. It's an easy read. It's clear. It's concise. Do I agree with everything in it? Not exactly. Do I think a lot of it pertains to me in my life or my position? No. So it's an interesting book. It's easy to read.
Yeah. I do think though that at least when it comes, the whole concept of the book is creating super fans within your company. And so you have people who just love and adore the business that you provide, and that's how you get recommendations. And I do think that at least for you in applications and in leasing, when you get to call those people and give them the good news that they've been approved, I definitely think that kind of helps build just a little bit. That gets them a little bit closer to being a super fan. So it may not apply to everything that you do, but I do think at least when you give those calls and you give the really good news, I'm sure that people are remembering your name and loving your name because you gave them that good news. And that probably helps with the super fans.
Hopefully, yeah.
So going outside of work, because I've already asked you so many questions about the job, what are some things you like to do to pass the time? Like, what are some hobbies? You came from Florida and traveled all over and ended up in Vegas. So what was it that drew you to Nevada. I love it because I'm a native, but I always like to hear from people who moved here what kept them.
So coming from Florida, I had actually never seen snow before. I hadn't even seen a mountain before. So coming to Nevada, it was just, it's beautiful here. It really is. And we love being outdoors. So there's a lot to do here. There's plenty of hikes to go on. We love hiking, going just to the lake or paddleboarding or really anything outdoors involving my dog or my husband. So when we moved from Florida, we were in a camper. So we did like a little bit of the road life for, I think it was about 8 months. And then we settled here and just love it.
So you're not too big of a hater with the heat.
No, I love the heat.
You don't mind.
I don't like the cold, actually.
Would you prefer like Florida humidity heat, or do you like the dry heat that Vegas has?
Actually, the humidity.
Really?
I would prefer the humidity. My skin is so dry out here. I need lotion every day.
That's awesome. I am not an outdoorsy type at all, so I feel like I have to completely live off of Alisa's like Instagram feed and everything that she posts because she's doing all these hikes. I'm sure my dogs are very jealous of her dog because they just stay at home all day. But no, that's awesome. I think it's really cool to see when people I don't know how many states you traveled then when you were doing the cross country thing, but the fact that you guys landed in Nevada and have actually really seemed to enjoy it. I think Nevada kind of gets a little bit of hate in regards of like, oh, it's just to vacation. You don't want to settle down. It's too hot or there's nothing to do or this, that, and whatever. And I think I always like hearing from other people because I feel like they disprove it.
Yeah, no, it's a great state. Nothing bad to say.
What were some of the other, do you have like any other top fives or like top twos when you were traveling around that you really enjoyed?
Like a different state?
Yeah.
We stopped in Colorado for a while, and it was really nice. They have a lot of mountains there too. I'm a sucker for like hiking up a mountain. So yeah, probably Colorado, or we went to Ozark National Forest, and it's really nice over there. So yeah, just a little bit of everything, really.
Super cool. I've actually never been to Ozark, so maybe I have to add it to my list.
It's cool. There's some waterfalls there that you can jump off of. So
I definitely need to do that. Well, I'll ask you one final question, and then I won't take up any more of your time. She was very nervous, and I kind of almost forced her to do this because she thinks I force her into everything that she has to do.
I'm here of my own free will.
Thank you for confirming that. But just one final question with kind of, you were talking about, you have your 5-year goal, which is to maybe potentially become an investor and have different land and maybe even work with McKenna as an owner, which would be super cool. What do you have anything else wrapped into that 5-year goal? Any additional licenses, any additional things? Do you want to finish the Superfan book and finish reading it?
No other like big goals other than just buying more doors. Like we're looking into duplexes or like quads or something that we can get multiple doors at once, and vacations. Just vacationing. Like I want to go out of the country for a while, so no really other goals than that.
I know. She's very adventurous. She went to Japan last year, and I was so jealous. And I think she actually made Max so jealous that she went to Japan, that's actually how he planned his Japan trip. And then in about a month, she's going on a cruise too, which I'm also super jealous about. Oh, and she is co-hosting the Boo Bash, which we've talked about on here before. So she loves Halloween. I think she's a sucker for it.
It's my favorite holiday. One
of her first costumes that she came in when we did Halloween here at the office was, Duloc? No, that's where he's from.
Yeah.
The prince from Shrek. I'm trying to remember the name. Lord Farquaad. Yeah. She came in dressed as Lord Farquaad, and she had this huge cardboard head, the mascot from that scene. And I remember walking in and I was like, who is in that costume? And it was Alisa. And I was like, okay, yeah, she's definitely a big Halloween person. Yeah. I'm trying to remember what your other costumes have been.
I was a llama from Emperor's New Groove when he was cosplaying as a woman. So I was a lady llama. And then the second year I was the Farquaad. And then I think the first year I was just a pig in a blanket. So it wasn't anything.
Very creative,
fun.
though. I would never thought of that. Are you going to give us any hints or guesses as to what you're going as this year for our Boo Bash?
No hints. Maybe, okay, one of our days is a TV day. So I'm thinking of my character from The Office. So
Okay.
that's a little hint, I guess.
Okay. Well, I think it's going to be super successful this year. It's our second year doing the Boo Bash. It's Alisa's first year co-hosting.
Yeah.
They have some really cool ideas. They're doing a whole spirit week, and then they're doing a whole sweet trail. So it's definitely been so much fun having you on the team. The last 3 years have been amazing. She's definitely accomplished so much with us. So I just wanted to get her on here and brag about her and just say that out of all the 20,000 licensed people out there, she definitely is in my top 5 favorite licensed people.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Feel free to ask Alisa any questions that you have if you want to know any more about her, any more about her job. And then maybe if we get enough questions, she'll come back. I might have to force her to come back again. And if you like kind of hearing from people in the office and hearing from Jenni and Max and just kind of seeing what it's like to work in a property management company in the different departments, then subscribe below and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Oh, there you go. Sound good? Okay, good. I'll pass over to Ireland. Here you go, kid.
Thanks, Pops.